Wait, let's go. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
I can't wait for this. By the way, if there's any internet glitches, issues, if you followed this channel, I think now for 5 years, we live on a small barrier island off of the coast of Alabama. So if there's any internet issues throughout, let us know in the comments, and then we have another way to skin the cat. We can hook up a different internet avenue per se.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. Everybody's had a good Australian Open. And let's go ahead and lock in and get this going.
Okay.
All right. So hello, welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. By the way, on today's show, we are going to be doing a Technifiber strings giveaway. So whether you watch the show now or later, then be ready for the Technifiber string giveaway. All right. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of the topics that we have put on paper, and obviously have yours ready. I guess to chime in. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. So topic number one, no particular order, by the way. Topic number one: Sabalenka screeches her way through another major and got herself another title. Right. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about as well the style of Sabalenka's play and how that can be good and how that can be bad, pros and cons. We haven't done a show, by the way, since Novak Djokovic was about to embark into the quarterfinals, I think. So
I think he was playing Mandarino or something like that.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Djokovic, all the retirement spin, all the propaganda. We're going to talk about Jannik Sinner. Does Jannik Sinner have Djokovic Superman's kryptonite? We're going to talk about that. As well, we're going to talk about is Djokovic still going to try to, pass that, old hag Margaret Court and that BS record. No disrespect to Australians, but Margaret Court's record is because so many people never played the Australian Open except Australians back then. She won like 37 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, hey, I'm not hating. I'm just saying. Okay. Also, we're going to talk about Medvedev and Medvedev's match demeanor, his the way he can play the good guy and the bad guy and somehow still make it come out on top. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Sissy Pass and Badosa, and we're gonna talk about Medvedev's coach, Gilles Servara. Is that correct? This is Gilles Servara, the Hobbit. He's the Hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Carla had a take about what happened to 10 years ago or 20 years ago when the Chinese players were supposed to take over the game, and there was a group of them stemming from just after Li Na. I guess Li Na was kind of that.
No, she was in that group. It was, you remember, the Russians took over, and then that was kind of fading, and then they said, oh, players from China might take over. They had so many promising players, but I guess it never happened. Well, Li Na won her slams.
Yeah, I think all that came to a freeze when the Shui Peng thing with the talking about sexual misconduct. We'll get into that.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
And the last couple of things that we have, and we'll go back to the beginning, is Jannik Sinner, what to expect with him moving forward, honestly. And so we, for the longest time, have heard people say, "Oh, this person won a major. They're it." Let's not forget. Not long ago, Raducanu, who? Huh? Who? Won a major. Everybody's like, "Yeah, she's the next Serena." Who? Anyway, we're gonna break that down. Does it apply to Sinner? If so, great. If not, why not? Also, the greatest one and done major winners of all time. So we're going to talk about that as well, and that's going to tie into the Technifiber strings giveaway. So be thinking about who are some of the greatest one and dones, the one-offs. They win a major, and that's a wrap. Could it be Sinner, or will that be just another Dominic TM? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So we'll get into that. All right, where do we want to start? Van Lee, what's up, bro? Where do you want to start?
What's your name, he said?
One step at a time. It's good. One step at a time. That's it.
Yeah. He says Medvedev is gonna have a terrible season. Can bet against him. He's drained physically and emotionally this fortnight. I don't know that he's gonna have a terrible season.
So did you see the statistics before the final that Medvedev had spent something along the lines of 24 hours on court versus Sinner, and I'm shooting from the hip here, so pardon me if I'm not exactly on the spot, but I think Sinner had something like 16 hours. Mm-hmm. So Medvedev had like 8 more hours on court or 6 more hours, whatever it is. That's a lot when for those 8 hours you're like working your ass off.
Especially if he played some late late matches. I think both of them were late matches, so that was tough. Zverev, which he beat, and then the other 5-setter, which was, help me out. I don't even remember. Who was the other match that he had the 5 sets against that he came back and won?
I don't know.
Wow.
Clues. Okay, here, I'll tell you what. If anyone,
no.
How about this? The first Technofiber Streams giveaway. So if anyone can answer this question correctly, send us a personal message here, or you can email us at 5ktennis@mail.com. So 5, the number 5, the letter K, 5K, 5 kids, 5K tennis@mail.com. No Gmail, just at mail. 5ktennis@mail.com. All right. So if anyone can answer her question, which was,
I just remembered. Yeah.
Don't answer it. But what was your question?
He had 2 5 sets. One was against Zverev, and the other one that he beat.
Who was that?
Don't you want them to answer first?
Yes. Who was that?
Who was that? Okay.
There you go. The first person to answer that question, we'll send you a set of. I have a set of Razor Code, which is Iga Swiatek, her choice strings. I'll send them a set of that.
Going back to Van Lee's thing about him having a bad season, right? Well, we look here. He's made 6 Grand Slam finals. 6. 2019 U.S. Open, 2021 Australian, 2021 U.S. Open, 2022 Australian Open, 2023 U.S. Open, and 2024 Australian Open.
It's a pretty good run.
Yep. And then the other thing was the same thing happened to him, I guess, when Nadal won his Australian Open. He was up 2 sets on Nadal and had a chance to break him, but didn't convert. So here we go again. He was up 2 sets and then lost the match.
Speaking of Nadal, the French Open, the clay season is about to start.
Mm-hmm.
Is he playing? Is Nadal, is Rafa?
Yes, he's going to play.
We'll see what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to start with the ladies. Ladies first, right? Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. Aryna Sabalenka, for a handful of years at minimum, a lot of you laughed at me when I said she would win a major. Carla especially, and a lot of you have made bets with me personally, and Carla personally, and here Sabalenka is now with her second major.
Good. She broke that curse of the 1 slam.
She's not one and done.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, the reason why I bought on to Sabalenka in the first place is because Carla did not like her. Didn't like her. Did not like her at all. Like anytime I would mention Sabalenka, Carla would be like, "She's nothing. She just hits the ball hard. What happens if she has a bad day?" Okay. So with that said, I do want to, I guess, talk about the pros and cons of playing Sabalenka's game, right? She's one-dimensional. I mean, she has a little bit of variety. But,
I saw the net game.
But what happened with Medvedev until the past maybe year and a half, 2, he didn't have much of a net game, right? And I remember when Djokovic played Medvedev prior to, I think it was the Wimbledon final a couple years ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, like it was yesterday, that the analyst was asking Novak Djokovic on the way out onto the court, what are some things that you feel like you can capitalize playing Daniil? And he laughed. You could tell in his head he already knew, but he remained a gentleman and didn't. And that was that Medvedev didn't have a lot of variety when it came into playing at the net. And he did a good job of adapting to that. Now, what did Sabalenka do or what did she used to do that she adapted to? Double faults is one of them.
Yeah, her serve has improved a lot,
obviously. Yes. I mean, she would come out and double fault like 25 times, 28 times, and it was really not quite of a big deal. But another thing Sabalenka did, do you remember when Sabalenka, when all of you were hating on me for even mentioning her, you guys were always saying, but what about that fight she got into with her coach while he came down and coached on the sidelines, right? So if anyone doesn't know what we're making reference to, or what they did in the past couple of years, is when I would mention Sabalenka, everyone would mention she had this toxic attitude. She was just toxic. She screeched, she grunts, and she put up with this boyfriend / coach, whatever he is supposed to be, that would come down to the court and do this coaching from the sideline shit that was just so freaking cheesy. That whole coaching from the sideline thing, it's a two-way street. It can either help you or it can really screw up the player. Anyway, we won't get into that. But has anyone seen Sabalenka with a coach kneeling down to her knee and screaming up at her as they used to do, which was so freaking cringeworthy when they used to do that? Here, watch we're gonna reprint women's coaching, but yet we're gonna put a microphone and a camera right. It was, oh my God.
I think the coach was at fault for allowing that to happen.
Negative energy.
He should have demanded a little bit more respect as a coach. You have to, when you get to the same level as the player, then you're in trouble. You know what I mean?
Moral of the story is there was a lot of negative energy along with the Sabalenka camp then. Okay, a lot of negative energy there.
But she has a very positive energy. She fixed a lot of the issues. I saw her volleying, which was good. I saw her slicing. Yes, she can whack all the balls. All the balls. It's amazing how hard she can hit. But not only is she hitting hard, she's finding the angles and hitting behind her opponents. And because she's winning, what happens when you win?
Confidence.
Right. You have confidence, and that's what's happening for her right now.
Okay, so the one-dimensional thing about Sabalenka's game, and again, I must reiterate that 90% of you, and I think there's 4,000 of you now, 90% of you diss me. What are you talking about? You're an idiot, one-dimensional. Okay.
At that point, you were an idiot because she didn't change anything.
Because she had negative energy and she would never correct the 27 double faults.
Right.
But it's not that her service motion has changed. It's that her negative energy has changed to non-negative energy yelling at her from the sidelines. She has expelled that negative energy, right?
Yeah. If she gets along with her whole team, you can see it. They all have fun together. You can see it when the camera's on them and she's stretching or she's doing an interview. She's very playful with them. So she's got positive energy all around her, and that's what you need. I mean, same with Coco Gauff. I mean, look at her team. Brad Gilbert and the rest of the team, they're very positive. Van Lee asked me a question. He says, Carla, should Coco go all in on the serve or that forehand? Doubt she can fix both.
It sounds like typical American tennis.
She has a full Western grip. I feel like if Monica Seles could play two-handed from both sides and whack the ball, I don't think Coco Gauff should have trouble with her extreme grip, nor her serve.
Monica Seles was the only person that played two hands with Bartoli.
I'm just saying, if that's possible for her to win slams, and that's a big no-no, two hands on both sides, right? You would think, no way, no way.
The funny thing, it's more than funny, it's laughable. There's an old saying that nothing changes underneath the sun. It's just a different cycle. Carla, since we were very small, very young, how many times have we heard people say, oh, look at the next best thing is person with two hands here and two hands there, right? And then it seems like every generation we see another commercial. Look at this kid. He's a 10-year-old and he plays with both hands. And what happens? What happens?
What I'm saying, though, is Monica Seles was able to be successful with the two hands on both sides, hit the ball, whack the ball. I don't see why Coco Gauff with a full Western grip and her serve could not be a good champion or win more slams than one. She's on that list right now, but she just started of the one-time slam champion. But again, I don't think her forehand is the issue. I just think she doesn't have maybe a lot of belief in the second serve. We saw her hit a lot of second serves in the net, kind of short. So she needs to work on that, and I'm sure that her team will work on that.
Who do you think has better? Who has more variety, Coco Gauff or Sabalenka?
I think they're about even. If you watch them hit, when we watched them play, they were pretty even on as far as hitting.
So can you do a poll question? Our first poll question. Can you do a poll question? All right, poll question number 1. If you had to bet your life on it, and the following two players were going to face off against one another. If the following players were to square off in the best 3 out of 5 matches, you don't have to write this. You don't have to write that. Okay. If Ashley Barty were to face off against Aryna Sabalenka at the top of her game and Sabalenka's at the top of her game, which one of the two would you take in the best of 5? Okay, so the question is Sabalenka versus Barty in the best of 5. Who do you take? And this is going to lead me into the next segment of Sabalenka. Okay, does she have more variety? Yes.
Who would you take in battle?
Whoever. Choose one. Sabalenka or Barty in the best of 5. I think it's pretty straight up. Van Lee already answered it. I mean, it's a no-brainer. She has variety. She has the slice. It's really hard to whack the shit out of the ball when you're having to deal with a low slice that's landing at the service line. So I'm not going to get into this, but every time that our own children, we'll speak about our own, when our own children play a tournament around here, we just say all they have is a forehand. If I see you hitting one damn forehand, I'm going to be pissed, and they know it. And I say, look, if they have no volleys, they got 2 hands on the racket at the net. I want you to hit a drop shot every point and move their lazy feet and then hit them a backhand volley. And if you don't do that every time, it's going to be a long night. We're going to go back and we're going to practice it again. And they do it. And what happens? They roll off tournaments.
I would pick Barty because I think it's so hard to whack the ball time and time again when someone's hitting the ball so low. Eventually you'll miss.
Yeah.
You have to clear the net. usually when you're whacking the ball, you're clearing the net. I mean, the ball's kind of sitting up for you. You can't do that when the ball is low.
Yeah.
And especially, I remember Barty when she would slice, the slice was pretty fast. So it's tough. You got to set up your feet. So yeah.
Now let's look at the physics of this. So you have a tennis ball that's spinning top spin, right? That's spinning top spin. So it bounces, kicks up a bit. Okay, top spin lob. You know, you get it, keeps going towards the fence. But now let's think about the low magician maestro-like slice that skins the net. What's up, Zeke? Zeke is a maestro with that. Watched it the other night. So what happens when it stays low and it clears the net and it kind of skids across the net and it kind of skids across the service line? If this ball is bouncing and bouncing up, okay, bow, I can hit topspin there. But if this ball bounces and skids off the ground, I can't hit topspin because the bottom of my racket's going to hit the ground. So I have to cough up the slice.
Well, I don't even think
so I can't hit winners with that.
I don't even think it's that. I think Barty too, from me remembering, the little time she spent on the tour, she would move a lot forward. Like she would hit angles and move forward. She loved playing the net, and I think that's important. Sometimes I think this whole tennis that we watched, this whole slam, most of the girls were just whacking the ball. It was rare to see one come up to the net. Rare, very rare. And some of them that were coming to the net were hitting swing volleys.
Yeah, swinging. Yeah.
I was like, whoa, but okay.
Yeah, for sure. And no disrespect to the final, the Medvedev Center final. We're going to talk about that. But I woke up at 3:30 this morning and I turned it on and it was like 2 sets one way, whatever it was. Anyway, but I turned it on, and within about 20 minutes, I was reminded that it's a baseline game. It's just, slugfest, which we could say Medvedev's 24 hours on court to center 16. He ran out of steam a little bit earlier because of that. But we're not talking about that. Let's go back to Sabalenka. What's the problem with Sabalenka's style of play the majority of the time? Okay, she got rid of the double fault. She got rid of the negative energy, and she's turned it into a positive. But it doesn't matter what you do. Sometimes human beings have a bad day at the office. When we cannot hit our spots ripping the ball, if we don't have variety, what happens most of the time? We lose if we're playing a player that has variety, right?
Right. I don't think you can keep that level on forever.
You get hurt.
It's tough to whack the ball. I think Serena whacked the ball the whole time, but I also saw her charging forward a lot, and her serve helped her. That's the advantage that she had, that she would ace a lot or place herself where the ball was short and then just put it away. But I think even she had a little bit more variety than Sabalenka did.
All right, a couple more things that we're going to move forward to Djokovic for a moment. Sabalenka moving forward, everyone, the majority thereof, knocked me in the dirt 5 years ago when I said Sabalenka would win one major. Now she has 2. How many more does she have, honestly, playing that way?
I don't know. I mean, the women's tour is so unpredictable. Swiatek has 3, right? Sabalenka 2. I mean, I don't know. Anything's possible. We might be talking about somebody else at the French Open.
I'm going to squash it right here. The biggest problem I have with this Australian Open especially is that not one female opponent of Sabalenka understood, this is 101. This is tennis 101. Matter of fact, we help Coach Jordan Yates, respectively. He's the coach of Murphy High School. And we had the team out there the other day, and I'm still limping around on one leg, and I brought everybody to the net, and I said, I asked them a trivia question. I said, if you go out there and you warm up on the court against anybody, namely you have a match coming up, and you realize during warm up, that's what warm up's for, is to find weakness, right? And you notice that the only shot that they can hit back over the damn net is a forehand. And you notice when they have to take a ball out of the air, volley, whatever, that's a pancake, or they swing, whatever. Okay, I froze it there and I said, how many forehands do I want to see you hit your opponent? All of them said none. Okay. I said, okay, that's the right answer. Let's see that, right? Sometimes we get so wrapped up in and competing with the Joneses, we forget about the thing at hand, that tennis is a game of emulating battle to the death. I know if my freaking opponent's got a mean right hand, I'm going to be studying that damn right hand, and I'm going to get out of the way and not let him connect with that right hand, right? If someone just has a forehand, don't hit it to him. So if Sabalenka only has big blistering ground strokes, then why wouldn't your game become drop shot, drop shot, drop shot, drop shot, drop shot, chunk, chain, bleh. Shit on a slab, throw him shit.
Let's look at her opponents.
No one had the ego to throw him shit.
First round, she had a girl named Seidel from Germany, who she blew 0-1. Then she had Fruhitova 3-2, Serenko 0-0, Anisimova 3-2, Krejcikova.
I wonder if Serenko shook her hand afterwards.
No.
Oh,
Krejcikova,
that made the news, didn't it?
who probably didn't have enough firepower for her. She has the nice game.
Oh, Ukraine doesn't have enough firepower?
No, Krejcikova.
Oh, yeah. I'm being facetious.
Oh, 2-3. Golf was the closest one. Took her to a tiebreaker, and then it was 6-4. So that was the closest match for her. And then Zheng was 3-2, which I thought Zheng had no firepower for her as well.
The Ukrainians definitely do not have firepower against the Russians. And one day everyone will understand that. All right, enough about Sabalenka. Look, I'm glad that I finally one-upped all of you when you guys trounced me for years.
She got her 2 slams.
She got 2.
And I guess her dad, that was her dream. Her dad, she said something. Her dad passed away. Was a hockey player, we heard. I mean, good for her. She deserves it. She's been working hard.
Yeah.
I don't think that she'll win the French Open. I definitely don't pick her to win the French Open.
The course,
not with that style.
Well, her shots won't penetrate through the
not
course
with that
much.
style.
They'll sit up just a little enough to get there.
Not with that style.
All right, next topic. We haven't done a live show since Novak Djokovic was about to play center. Matter of fact, a couple days before that. As soon as Novak Djokovic lost, alas.
We're skipping the women's, going to the men's.
No, I just went from Sabalenka. So we'll get there.
Okay.
But Novak Djokovic lost, and no sooner than the match ended, the headlines became omnipresent. Djokovic is done. Djokovic is at the end of the road. And then here came the conspiracy theories. Here's the title, and I took a picture and I'll show you. But my phone's now running the thing. I think I sent it to you. I don't know. I may not have. But let me recite this. Google it. Djokovic is definitely going to retire because his speech after his loss was indicative of Roger Federer's speech when he was about to retire.
Okay, similar to where he says I should have stopped earlier.
Yeah.
Well, his thing here is not easy to be honest. I'm really getting more and more difficult about as time goes on. Australia is a long road, maybe the longest we've had in years. Being away from them. Speaking about his family for 5 weeks is really a lot. And then he said, my son Stefan is 9 years old and my daughter's 6. They change every week. There's a lot going on. My daughter lost her first baby tooth and I wasn't there to see it, but everything is in balance. I just feel like, he lost. He's bummed down, right? Bummed, I guess.
David Volix, what's up, bro?
I don't see him retiring. I mean, geez.
Can I make
one loss doesn't mean that you're done.
Can I make a kind of a all good fun statement? I wish that I was Djokovic's daughter, because that damn tooth fairy is going to be bringing the freaking bank.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah. Just okay. Anyway, so just because Novak Djokovic has stated that I miss my family doesn't mean that someone that is Serbian, who's very patriotic, has fought through thick and thin. Generations of people have been in battle. But the only thing that worries me is that he is the GOAT, and surely he knows it. He's broken his own records and broken everybody else's records. So he might be asking himself, can anyone, before I pass my legacy on to my fellow Serbian patriots, can anyone overcome that now internationally? And I know we said that, Federer, I know we had Nadal, but, they were there. All three are just like, they're just magical set of beings that happened like alien-like on the earth at one time. And energy went in its way. Djokovic is still here. He beat the record. I can assure you, I'm willing to bet a good bit that 24 majors does not get eclipsed in our lifetimes.
I mean,
think about it.
We'll talk about Djokovic's retirement. Let's see how he does all year, and then let's talk about it.
Yeah, and
it's just the first slam of the year, and he got beat.
And he got in the semifinals.
He got beat by a young kid who has more energy than him. Correct me if I'm wrong. He wasn't feeling too well from in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've heard that
the first round. It was kind
of
yeah, I know, but I mean, I don't think this is the end for him. I mean, it's good to see a different champion. I mean, I'm glad that somebody else won. Just saying. I mean, finally, one of the young kids won. Finally, because we talked about Tsitsipas, we talked about Zverev, we talked about all the young players, and who are the other young ones? So Alcaraz got one, but fine. Oh, Shapovalov, who's done, and Felix Auger, and none of them have been able to do it. And finally, we have a young kid win.
And the craziest thing is for the past 20 years, anytime rarely that Novak, Nole, or Rafa or Roger has lost in a final. For at least the past 10, they're done. They'll never win another one. I mean, I remember when Robert Soderling beat the Swede when he beat Rafa at Roland Garros, and then Roger comes in. Rafa's done. He's washed up. Sell the stock. Give it to your Babolat rackets. They suck anyway. They chip. They break. Fuck it. Nadal's broken. Heard that. And Babolat rackets do crack very easily. Anyway, but they called it when that happened. It was like Nadal cracked. So anyway, with the Nadal came back and won like 4 or 5 more, 6 more, something. So is it a preemptive crash or not? But the thing that really, I guess,
at least he went out in the semis, right?
But the thing, what was the difference between Nadal losing to Soderling and Djokovic just losing to Sinner? The difference is that Djokovic has the GOAT record, the most championships regardless. Don't even talk about Margaret Court. I will snap, crackle, and pop you in the face like Rice Krispies if Margaret Court comes up in this conversation.
Yeah.
Screw Margaret Court. No disrespect. I don't mean it that way, but her record is garbage. That's all I meant. God bless.
Yeah, but I agree with David. At 36, he's allowed to have a few bad matches. I'm sure he'll have a favorable draw in slams and be playing for number 25 very, very soon. Sinner is a problem, though. Sinner, yes, has figured something out. One, he's younger, can do the same thing, hit side to side. And, he's young. When you're young, let's go. Let's rock and roll. I mean,
ball till you fall.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
especially now beating him at a Grand Slam, he definitely has more confidence.
Yeah, and it's not that Sinner is Djokovic's kryptonite. It's just that Djokovic is mortal. He's 36, and this young man, this gladiator Sinner, has the game and the patterns that stack up well against someone that plays at Djokovic's level. But then you turn up the age. And then it's like, whoa, this kid's a thoroughbred. This kid's got, he's got energy.
His game suits better against Djokovic than Alcaraz, I feel, against Djokovic. I feel like his game is more suitable. You always have those players that, I know I've had many players in my lifetime that I smoke at somebody, but there's this one player that for some reason, their game you don't do as well against them, even though you hit the same shots. No, we've had Daryl Caldwell.
Daryl. But yeah,
and kudos to his coach, Cahill. I mean, he's brought up some champions for sure.
So Darren Cahill, by the way, is it's not that he's necessarily the greatest coach that's ever lived. It's that Darren Cahill is very good at empathizing and gelling with whoever it is, namely Team Adidas. Now he was Team Adidas. I think he flavored back to Nike. Anyway, but Cahill has always been good. And now Brandon Cahill spent time with Roger, right? Halep, yes. Mm-hmm. Anyway, and then here came Sasha Bajim, and all of a sudden she's testing positive for PEDs.
Sasha, you mean Patrick Mochagalou?
Whatever, same crew, same thing. They're both slicksters that like to look at themselves in the mirror.
Well, Michael Walker, that's what I'm saying. I can't say that Djokovic is done, and I can't say Nadal is done until I see what happens at the end of the year.
Nadal is done.
We'll see. He might surprise us at where he always has a chance at the French Open. We'll talk about that when at the end of the year. Can we say Murray's done? Absolutely, he's been done. Federer obviously done. I mean, we'll talk.
He's like, nah, he ain't done. This guy just jumped over my
You're
lap.
a Nadal fan, right, baby? Yes, you are.
Scratch me in the face and they piss. But yeah, Nadal has no shot at winning the French.
Oh, okay.
Robin Soderling could come out of retirement and beat him again.
You want to make a bet?
Did you want to call Robin? How are we gonna make that bet if you don't call Robin?
He didn't do anything after that.
All right.
Want to make a bet on that?
No, but how are you gonna make the bet when Robin's not even here?
No, I mean you said he's done. You want to make a bet on that?
Here, hold your cat before you scratch me in the face. All right. Anyway, is Novak gonna retire after this? No, absolutely not. If anything, he has so many. When a player agrees to their calendar year schedule, you accept an invitation. You accept back in the day. Like, was it the Dubai Duty-Free Championships, where if Dubai wanted Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, or maybe it was the Estoril in Portugal, one of these tournaments, it was like a 250, and they ended up locking all 3 down, and then you were like, why? owed because each of them got paid $10 million apiece just to show up. You know, like damn. All right. Well, so they have agreements. You know, they have sponsors. They have to finish the year. I don't think this is going to be his last year. It could be, and if so, good luck trying to catch him because that shit gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Okay, is Djokovic going to get 25, or is he done, or does he have enough fight in him to try to beat the Margaret Court crap?
I mean, yeah, you still have to bet. You know, if you look at coming out on Wimbledon, I think someone who did I have this conversation? Wimbledon is his best chance always to win a slam.
Yeah, well, yes, because the U.S. Open is late in the year. The U.S. Open, you know, the body's taxed, and it's like, you know, the youngest player with the most luck, Raducanu, tends to have.
I feel like Wimbledon is where he can lock it at 25.
I don't think he.
Djokovic. I'm talking about Djokovic.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I don't think that number 25 means a shit because of who.
No, what you're saying.
Serena beat.
You're saying can he win 25? I think that Wimbledon would be the place where he can do it.
Yes, but what I'm saying, if he stays at 24, you can't tell me that Margaret Court is the GOAT in all of tennis because of that damn 27 million.
I don't think that anybody even thinks about Margaret Court. Do you guys think about Margaret Court?
Then why is it that they still pit her as more achieved than Serena Williams? Like, are you serious?
I don't think anybody says that. I think even the commentators laugh at that.
We all laugh at that. It's laughable. It's laughable.
You can't take credit away from Margaret Court either.
I guarantee you get Margaret Court on her best day and then get Serena when she was like 12.
You can't compare the
dominate her ass.
You can't compare the eras.
Tell her to get lost.
Is Sinner a more attacking version of Novak?
He's like Berdych. No, Sinner's like Berdych, but a little better, younger.
Well, let me read Ryan's comment.
Sinner's like Berdych.
Because Ryan sent me a message, and you know how we always talk about, when every time someone wins a slam, they're gonna win so many more.
Raducanu who?
So Ryan sent me a message, and I told him I would share it. He said, Medvedev is turning into a modern day Roddick, not in playing style, but in results. Wins one U.S. Open, gets heartbroken in several other slams finals against greats of the game. Sinner has a very high ceiling. He plays like a Djokovic, but a little bigger hitter. Sinner should easily win 6 to 8 more slams if he keeps going, maybe more.
Man, we've heard this before, though. We heard this. A lot of you used to say the thing about Tsitsipas. Oh, he's going to take over where Federer left over. Do you know who tried to pull the Tsitsipas on? Okay, so before Tsitsipas, there was Grigor Dimitrov. So Grigor and his Bulgarian beauty, he like, I'm the next Federer. The problem with Grigor was
he's a Bulgarian beauty.
He thought he was. He tried to. He did tap Sharapova. He was tapping Serena too.
Who cares?
He was tapping both of them.
Why you even talk about?
I'm just telling you. Dimitrov came around and was like, "Look at me! I got my bandana. I got my. Oh man, I'm the next better." But what happened? In tennis, you have to be unique. You have to be you. You have to be you. You're unique as an individual sport. Dimitrov came along. I want to be the next better. Shut up. Not.
You liked him yourself.
Well, I mean, okay. I think he was like Federer, but he has the same style basically. So what's going to change here
with Sinner?
Yeah, what's going to is he unique, or is he just Berdych that won a major?
I can't agree.
Is he Berdych that won a major?
I don't agree with Ryan.
Half these people don't even know who Berdych is.
6 to 8 slams is a lot in this generation. I mean, it depends how focused he stays. What happens? Do other players come into the picture that we don't know? I don't know. That's going to be tough.
Can anyone, if someone can answer this question, I'll send you another set of Technifiber strings. I don't even know the answer. Who are the players that Tomas Berdych met in all major finals? Who did Berdych meet in major finals and lose to? Was Roger one of them? I think Nadal at Wimbledon? Didn't he play Nadal at Wimbledon?
The answer?
Did he make one major final? That was it?
Give him the answer.
Whatever.
He got beat at Wimbledon
by Nadal.
Yes.
And then did he make some other semifinals in there? And I mean,
he made plenty of semifinals.
What did David Ferrer is another one of these guys? But okay, who would you choose given you knew all three of these guys in their prime? So Sinner won a major, but who was around to block Berdych? Who was around to block David Ferrer? Was it his height? I don't know. But the best who never won a major.
One final.
So he played. How many semis?
2, 3, 4.
Who did he lose to in those semis? Federer, Nadal, Sampras, maybe at the end of his career. No, that's too much of a disparity there.
I don't know. I would have to go through it.
Anyway, don't worry about it. But is Sinner right now, just because he beat a 36-year-old Djokovic and a 24-hour on the court Medvedev, whose legs are no bigger than my scrawny things, are you telling me because Berdych is now younger and here, and there's no Federer or Nadal or anyone else, are you telling me that Berdych in his prime would have lost to Sinner currently? Or is it that Sinner just had an extremely taxed linguine noodle and an old-ass Djokovic across from him, and he got hot? One-dimensional. Whack, whack, whack. He hit his spots, okay. But what happens when he doesn't hit his spots?
I don't know that. I have to disagree with you, Justin. I don't know that he's one-dimensional. I've seen the kid volley and stuff. I mean,
he hits the ball really hard all the time.
He should. He's 21, 22. He should. Okay. Why wouldn't you at that age?
What happens if you miss?
You see him moving forward a lot, though.
Agreed. But what happens if you can't set that up? What happens?
I'm sure he'll go to plan B. I feel like he has more variety than most of the players. I don't know. I disagree with you on that one.
No, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just asking people that are old enough to remember.
I just can't say that he could win 6 to 8 slams.
Look, I mean, if you're 22, you have no know what I'm talking about. But if you're 46 and you've watched this game since you were born, don't tell me that Tomas Berdych in his prime was not a very damn good player.
It was, but he came into a tough era. That was a tough era for all those guys that came in.
Obviously.
Because of the three guys.
Because of the big three.
I feel like once Djokovic retires, it's anybody's game. I'm not convinced with Alcaraz, by the way.
Would you say with Sinner is now what Berdych was then, but without the big three there?
Yeah, probably. A lot of them are. I mean, we could say the same thing about Tsonga. We could say the same thing about Tsonga, too.
We just went in circles. I had to prove my point, and you just agreed.
Well, he's younger. I don't know.
All of that.
Anyways. Sinner, Ryan says Sinner is a player on the rise. Won a slam and still rising. I do think he's for real. I would be shocked if he's a one-hit wonder.
Well, I didn't say he wasn't for real. Yeah, I'm just saying Berdych wasn't a fake. I mean, he was around for many, many, many years. Just never could.
Chris Aviation says, well, Sinner has beaten Djokovic also at the ATP finals. I think he's a very good player who can tease Djokovic like Alcaraz. Nice to see you again. Love to watch your discussion.
What's up, Chris? Good to hear from you for sure. And I'm not disagreeing. I'm just, again, there's nothing new underneath the sun. Human beings are cyclical, no matter if it's in warfare or tennis. Tennis is warfare. We have to learn from history, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize that the same type of discussion has been going on long before our time. And some of the things that I remember in our times are the likes of Tomas Berdych. Tomas Berdych was always the one that I'd be like, gosh, man, this guy's worked his ass off. You used to think he was so hot. You're like, look at this specimen. He's so hot.
He's a specimen. He still is. Sinner does not have his looks, nothing. Berdych is still a handsome guy.
Yeah, look, I remember when Berdych made that Wimbledon final. I knew, I didn't know, but I was just like, it's gonna be a really tough task against, Capri.
He's a big, thick guy. I mean, he was thick.
Yeah, and all I'm getting at is maybe I'm just sore that Berdych never won one, and I liked Berdych a lot.
Me too. I always wanted him to win one, just not against Nadal.
Anyway. All right. Anyway, moving forward to Daniil Medvedev for a minute.
Poor guy.
In this segment, not necessarily a poor guy. I say Daniil Medvedev should be congratulated for a moment for his on-court demeanor. I guess I'll describe it this way. A lot of players play the bad guy, and the crowd hates them if they win. The crowd throws tomatoes, this type of thing. Medvedev is one of the rare players that you will see that he can get the crowd yelling at him, and then at the end of the night, they can want to throw him roses. So within the same performance, tomatoes, splat, splat, and then all of a sudden the same performance, win or lose, he gets roses.
Kind of similar to Safin, Marat Safin. Marat Safin could be a bad boy.
Or Jimmy Connors, maybe?
A lot of people hated
Jimmy
him.
Connors could play it,
but then they loved him at the end. I remember that,
Like Jimmy Connors in the Kriegstein match, and a lot of players don't know how to use any type of energy, positive or negative, in their benefit. Now, his coach, it's Gilles Servara, I think. At the end of Medvedev's match, he made a post-match press conference or whatever you call it. And the first thing he did was, I guess, apologize in a way to like his children for not winning this one and this type of thing. And then Djokovic at the end of his post-match press conference, he was like, my child lost the baby shoes when I was in a round for it. after these two things, Medvedev and Djokovic, I can't tell you how invigorated I was to watch JPD2, Liliana, and Gabriella do big things, but not why I'm bringing this up. Daniil Medvedev's coach and he are a perfect pair.
Mm-hmm.
A perfect pair. Why?
Yeah, he understands him.
Why
you
is
can tell they understand each other. They pump each other up. You know, even when
there's good
chemistry, obviously.
Yeah, good chemistry. There's a comedic. So whenever Medvedev is towering above him, what is Medvedev? 6'4", 6'5", or something, 6'6", maybe 6'8", and Gilles is like what 5'5", 5'6". Every time that you see these two together, Medvedev's like pointing down at him. They're laughing. They're having fun with it. There's a positive energy there. Furthermore, which I really felt was positive, as Cervera looks like a hobbit, and Medvedev looks like the hobbit that just was taller. So here's a really tall, nice guy and a really short one. I think they met in the Shire and they saved the Lord from.
He's Gandalf and
Gandalf.
Yeah,
they're all like mixed in. So Medvedev, Gandalf, and then Cervera is like the dude with bare feet that was always so hairy during the movies. I just wanted to barf.
Sam White, Sam. I forgot his name. Sam. There was Bilbo. There was
Baggins.
Pippin,
Bilbo Baggins.
Pippin. He looks like Pippin.
I'll tell you what.
One of my favorite movies, by the way.
Okay, no, I did want to bring up one last thing that had to do with Medvedev. Do you know one person on God's green earth that probably doesn't want to mess with Medvedev, though?
You know, did anybody see his picture when he was a little boy? They had the 4 pictures of all of them when they were kids, and he still looks mean.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with me.
Can anyone name one ATV player that absolutely got busted up on a tennis court, but it didn't involve tennis? Who do you remember when Sissy Boy? Do you remember when Sissy Boy tried to get in Medvedev's face? This was on a tennis court. I forget what tournament it was, but Medvedev was like, "You want me?"
Several times
and then it rode his ass forever. And then Tsitsipas met Badosa Donkey Donk with Junkin Trump, and then now Tsitsipas is goodbye.
My God, going back to Tsitsipas, I just can't believe how his career has turned out.
When you get but it was before that from where? Where's Badosa from?
She's from Barcelona, Spain.
Oh, you get a Spanish girl. Oh, Tsitsipas, watch out, change your life. And Spanish girls are crazy.
She's Spaniard.
I'm kidding. They're crazy though.
Spaniard. That's
different. Hit you with a sandal when you're not expecting.
She don't hit anybody with a sandal.
What the hell? Hit me with a sandal? Where'd that come from?
Maybe she's hitting him with the Barbie doll or something.
Yeah. He got Badosa Dunka.
Yeah, Tsitsipas is lost.
He lost his mojo.
Yeah.
Badosa.
Oh, Lendo's another one that was scary.
Yes.
Mike Walker said, remember Lendo was one out of 5 in major finals and lost his first 3 US Opens and ended up. So going back to the one-time slam winners, Medvedev's at 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll win another one.
I do too.
So I have a list actually. One-time slam champions. That's pretty big.
Men's and women's, or
men and women.
Can I see how many I can knock off without looking at your thing? Men and women. I don't want to look. Okay, so men and women, one and done. Okay, no particular order. Carolina Wozniacki.
Yes, very good.
Goran Ivanisevic.
Good.
Andy Roddick.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Philippoussis. No, Federer beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Federer beat him and got his first. One and done. I want to see. Michael Chang.
Yeah.
Now, Michael Chang trained with my sister at San Diego in California. I always have to say that.
Mm-hmm. Name a few guys. Jumping, guys.
I got you. My ex-girlfriend. Damn, I miss her. Not because you're way better. I want to get punched.
Yeah, okay.
Anna Ivanovic, the Serbian. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Is Gabriella Sabatini? Did she just win one?
That's right.
Oh, I named my daughter after her. That's why. Gabriella, let's see.
Chilik. I didn't even write him down.
Chilik, the U.S. Open. Let's go.
Come on, guys. Let's go.
Marcellus Rios, no, he never won one. Never won one. Patrick Rafter, no, he won 3. 2 U.S. Opens and Wimbledon, right?
Mm-hmm. Gaudio, very good, Michael Walker.
Gaston Gaudio, yeah. Who did Gaston Gaudio beat? Guillermo Coria. Ooh. Okay, Coria is that was an epic match too. It was like French Open, like deep in the 5th, and I think Coria was up. I think Coria was up by like 2-0.
Yep.
And then
keep naming more. There's quite a list. Come on, let's go.
I got more here. One and dones. Oh shoot. Oh, I know there's got to be more in there. Ferrer never won one. Burdett we just talked about. We already said.
Raducanu's in that list.
Raducanu, who?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you for that one. I would have forgot about her ass.
Thomas. I had told Justin, you remember Thomas Johansson?
Johansson, South African.
He's like, I don't remember him.
I
He won
remember,
Australian Open.
I remember his name. What about Johan Kriek? But he won 2 in a row. And Johan Kriek's a personal friend. He won 2 in a row.
Raducanu. I like that. Raducanu. That's good in Spanish.
Who else?
Mm-hmm. An Italian player won 2015. Can't spell her name.
Yannick Noah. What's up?
Thiem. Yep.
Yeah, and Dominic Thiem. Yannick Noah.
Are you talking about Schiavone?
That's another good one.
Yeah.
She was a screen cheating.
Krejcikova. I didn't have that one. I forgot about her.
There you go. And then but Yannick.
Kenin. Yes, Kenin.
Yeah, Sophia. So do you know that Yannick Noah not only Yannick Noah was, I guess, quoted as being French, but
Ostapenko, very good.
Ostapenko, she's Michelin Dough girl. Yannick Noah was the last man to win a major with a wooden racket, though.
Panetta, very good.
Dang, Serena was pissed about that one.
No, she lost in the semis.
But that's what I'm saying. Vinci Panetta final. Damn, the whole New York shut down. I remember
There's
that.
still a whole bunch more.
Hey, look that U.S. Open.
I didn't watch it.
Hey,
and then Panetta retired.
Hey, Mike Walker, do you remember that U.S. Open where Jay-Z was all up in the audience supporting Serena? She started playing like shit, and then all of a sudden,
Rybakina, forgot about her.
Man, the whole stands were empty for that U.S. Open. Panetta, Vinci, who?
By the way, I did like a whole thing, and I found that where you find the most one-time slam champions was which slam? Which
Australia? Where? U.S. Oh, well, shit, I don't know.
French Open.
Why?
For some reason, that's where most of the one-time
Kind of
slam
levels the
champions.
playing field.
Del Potro. Yes, I forgot about him. Very good.
Delpo, that's a great one.
Richard Krajicek, Wimbledon.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what? No. Okay, no.
Petra Korda.
Peter Korda, yeah.
Peter Korda.
One more of his son will ever win one.
Won Australian Open. Stozier, U.S. Open.
Did we say Dominic Thiem?
No, we didn't, but we got him.
What? Redzwanska never did Angelique Redzwanska ever win one?
Bartoli, Wimbledon.
Oh, she was fatty too. She was a two-hander wonder.
Eva Maioli. Does anyone remember Eva Maioli?
Yeah.
Who should be?
Can I guess?
Sure.
Mary Pierce?
No. What slam did she win that this player could never win? Never won that slam, but won other
French
slams.
Open.
Yes. And what player?
Steffi Graf.
No.
Monica. No, she would no. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Hingis.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And Hingis was the tricky player.
Pat Cash, Wimbledon.
He only won one. Who did Pat Cash beat? Not Sweden in the final.
Vondrushova won a slam. Holy crap! I didn't forget about that one. Did she? Oh yeah, she. Last year, I forgot about that already. You see what I mean? One-time players. Andreescu, where so many of you, including Michael Walker, was on her bandwagon. Well, she's going to be the next thing.
All right. So Andreescu, by the way, won, I think, Miami and then the Indian Wells, and a lot of people confuse those because women's always 2 out of 3 sets. They confuse those because the prize money is, I think, nearly identical. Mm-hmm. She won. I think Andreescu that year won Indian Wells, Miami.
She won. She was hot.
And then came back and won.
Then came injuries.
And then boom.
Novotna, remember? Novotna finally got her one. Yep. Sloane Stephens, U.S. Open. Andres Gomez, 1990 French Open.
Damn, yeah. That was when did Yannick Noah win the French? 86, 87?
Mm-hmm. Anastasia Miskina, who beat Dementieva.
Yeah, that was your girl.
Who never won a slam. Never won a slam.
Yeah.
Michael
Fine player right there.
Carlos Moya, one slam.
Yeah, what if there was a young lady that was Russian, and she had a one-handed backhand. This was probably like mid-80s, and she would always have like a Kneisel, the 5-point star like Becker had for a little bit. Kneisel, the brand Kneissl, Kneisel, a Russian player, and she would always be stretched out with a one-handed backhand. Oh, shoot a monkey! I have to think about it. Geez, my dad would know the answer.
That never won a slam, or that won?
No, she did not win a slam.
Oh.
Whoa! What is Teresa's last name here? That lives? No, Teresa, the young 14 now 15.
Moss. Yes, Moss. That's. I can't spell it. It's M-O.
They have the same last name.
No, that's her last name.
Teresa, the kick-ass player here.
Moss, that's her last name.
Okay, but anyway, they had the same last name. It was a Russian
Goran
player.
Ivanisevic, that's right.
These, yeah. Ivanisevic, we said this one.
Yeah.
And Goran was also the last man to win a major as a
What about Conchita Martinez?
Conchita, yep. Mm-hmm. And Conchita did not work out very well with Gabriela Sabatini as the coach, by the way. No,
you're thinking of
wrong player, different generation.
Muguruza.
Yes, there you go, Muguruza.
Mm-hmm. And there's your one times, and I'm sure there's more back in the days, but that's like the most recent ones we can remember.
There you go. All right, shifting gears real quickly. Shifting gears. Carla mentioned something about Chinese players, and all due respect, this isn't meant to single out anyone or anything at all. Equality is very important, but Carla, for a lot of years, would always say, "What happened to this group of players that are from Asia, namely China?" Not pointing fingers. This is meant to be positive.
Well, we know that tennis is huge in China. We know that. I think Li Na, mentioned that. I think she's left China because they take a big percentage of their prize money. Remember that?
And yeah, Mike Walker would be the valedictorian here. But from what I understood back then, I haven't researched this till you just said it. I think Li Na and her husband were a pair. I think Li Na's husband was the coach. Mm-hmm. And then when she had a lot of success, I think they tried to relocate to like the West Coast of maybe California or Florida. I don't know. And then they tried to find a way to keep what they earned, and I think there was a falling out there. Now, mind you, when I think of Chinese players, I think about the player Shuai Peng that I think was taking I don't want to say prisoner, but or abducted or held against her will and coerced to make statements because she spoke out against someone. Someone
that possibly raped her.
Fake news is not my thing.
She said someone raped her or something.
Yeah, there was this thing, and then all of a sudden she disappeared. And who knows? I don't know. But anyway,
yeah, let's go back again. I remember like in the 2000s, like the Russians were pretty much done, and then everybody was like, the Chinese players are going to take over, and it never happened. We had a lot of good Chinese players. As you know, Sabalenka was in the final against, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Piren Zhang, who's now number 13 in the world. And guess where she lives? She actually lives in Barcelona, Spain, which made me think of Li Na. Li Na left China because they would take. Oh, I forgot about Michael Stich. Oh my God, I forgot.
Yeah, who did he beat?
He won Wimbledon. Who did he beat? I forgot.
Pete Sampras?
I don't remember.
Sampras.
Was it? But going back to, she lives in Spain, which made me think about Li Na. She has only 2 career titles, by the way. Do we think any player from China has ever beat Becker? Wow. Do we think any Chinese player will win a slam? I don't think so. I just don't feel like they have the firepower. They're very steady players, but I've just never seen one besides Li Na overpower a player. And here are some players that are in the top 100. Qiyang Zhang, who's number 15. Ling Zhu, who's number 32 and age 30, so she's soon to be retired. Number 40 in the world, Xingyu Wang, who's 22. 59, another Wang, and that's all I found. That's it. And then going back into the 2000s, there was players like Peng Shuai. I'm sure you guys remember her. Zhang Li, Yang Zi, and that's all I could find. I think Shuai Peng was a double specialist, if I remember correctly. But again, I see so many videos of players from China, so many on social media, but yet none have really been able to break through. I just haven't seen any. And he's back. But anyways, that was my whole thing on the players from China. I mean, do you guys see any future for them as winning a slam? I don't, besides this last girl that made a final. I mean, she had no weapons. She had no weapons for Sabalenka.
Good for her, though.
Yeah, good for her. Absolutely. Pam Shriver was one major finalist.
Oh, damn.
There's so many major finalists, though.
David Ferrer was the
I mean, look, you got Zverev. Let's go into Zverev, by the way.
All right, yeah, Zverev. Let's shift gears to that guy.
So I wrote a little nugget about Zverev here.
Can we start where he came from before you get into that nugget?
Yeah, he lost to Medvedev. That was sad.
Can we wrap like before we start on Zverev? Can we rewind to like when he was in the next gen cheaty shit, and we were like, oh, next gen, because the big three were so damn dominant. Big three, they had their human beings, Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, so dominant that tennis had to spin this cheesy ass next gen crap. When we were coming up and we were training as kids, do you remember there ever being a time where there was such dominant players that, Boris Becker came up and won at 17 Wimbledon, right? Jennifer Capriati came up. Jennifer Capriati won what? Jennifer Capriati. When did Tracy Austin win her first match? 15. But because of the big three, they had to spin this next gen cheesy shit and make us watch it. And then when all they got beat, who was the G1 next gen cheese balls? Zverev, TM, Tiafoe. Okay, and who was the G2 cheese balls? Who was the G2 that attempted but failed miserably? Who were the next one? Kyrgios? Do I have that? Whatever. They all got their ass whipped. Is all I'm getting at. Okay, so
Tracy Austin got injured though. Well, remember she got into a car accident.
I don't know. She probably smoked Virginia Slims. I don't know. Anyway, but
Zverev.
yes, Zverev.
Zverev or whatever.
Zverev had a lot of hype, right? And then the next gen just didn't work out. It just didn't happen. He went through his gold necklace stage. He went through that little thugged out little stage. When I was a snowboarder. Well, I still would love to, but my knees are jacked. But for the longest time, we would go to like Vermont or we would go out west and we'd be snowboarding. And man, those folks that actually had been on the street, they would laugh at some of these snowboarders, right? The snowboarders would be acting like they were Tupac when they just got out of the BMW. Anyway, so this was kind of like Zverev. He was acting like the OG, but he plays tennis. What? Come on, bro. Anyway, but the really thing that kind of threw Zverev in a bind was when he was puppy hating. Now, what the hell is puppy hating? Zverev hired the likes of someone that one of you, I think it was Stanley, maybe.
Lendl, yes.
Okay. Mentioned Ivan Lendl. Now, Ivan Lendl, mind you, is a gladiator. But go. Lendl would just fight it out like Frankenstein with this Adidas racket. Do you remember the Adidas? He had like this wooden Adidas racket, and you'd be like, "What?" I wonder, can you even get that Adidas racket?
Wooden? I thought it was not wooden.
It was like a pressed thing. It was like wooden, and it might have been pressed in layers. I don't know, but Ivan Lendl played with a damn Adidas racket. Now, Zverev, on the other hand, said, "Yo, Adidas, man. I mean Adidas. Yo, Lendl, man. I need some help, man. I'm just a boy and I couldn't win these matches." So okay, Lendl shows up. Okay, we go to the Lendl's practice.
There it is.
Okay, so Lendl shows up with his puppy dog. Puppy dog, okay, got a little dog. Okay, my name's Lendl. I'll kill you. I'll destroy you. I'll bring my puppy dog.
That's what I thought, Michael Walker. Yeah.
I will kill you. And then Zverev gets his panties in a wad because freaking Lendl brings his puppy to practice. Man, I got 2 pit bulls, an American bully, and a cat. And if I'm gonna bring my damn cat, or not my cat, that's your thing.
Perhaps he brought his puppy. Now thinking about it, because he didn't want to deal with Zverev.
He just brought his damn puppy to practice. So Lendl brings the puppy up, and Zverev cries. What's this kid that we watch cartoons with, little Dennis the Menace or something? Mm-hmm. Who do you see? These people, these guys, they got these trucks. On the back they got the sticker, and it shows like some dude peeing on something, his pee shooting off. I'm like, that's Zverev. So Zverev gets all pissy because Lendl brought his puppy to practice. He was just petting the puppy.
I can't believe you remember that.
He spent his whole life being a freaking tough guy, and he got a fucking puppy. So he has a bad practice. He fires Lendl, fires him because he brought a puppy to practice. Man, shut up. And then all of a sudden, Zverev ends up in court, and he ends up in court for I guess some type of want to get into domestic violence, whatever. And then sometimes there's things in the media that are shady. The girl just wants to hammer you because it's about some money and they settle. Dude, Zverev's whatever, ex-girl, whoever, baby mama, whatever. She don't want none of that. I don't want shit from him. I want him to choked again. He made it through. He made it through firing Lendl's puppy. He made it through, and then chokes.
Okay. Oh. You guys know I've never really liked Zverev, right? But I felt bad for him. He hurt his ankle bad against Nadal. Was playing really well. Okay.
And I'm sorry about that.
And now it's coming back. I felt like, man, this guy has a chance. He's hungry again. Mm-hmm. He was playing well. Was up 2 sets on Medvedev. 2 sets, 7-5, 6-3, and then lost the next 2 in a tiebreaker. And you could see pretty much him going downhill.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
6-3. He lost. Can he ever win a slam? I just don't think so. He's 26 years old. But, I told Justin, he might have this thing in his head. His trial is coming up in May.
Hey, man.
His daughter's mother is taking him to trial. His trial starts May 31st. He's not going to be there because the French Open is happening at that time. Anyways, Brenda Patea is the mother of his daughter, and she basically said that he pushed her against the wall and choked her.
Mm-hmm.
The fine. So this is what's going to happen. If he's found guilty, he'll be fined or spend 5 years in prison. We know most likely he will be fined.
My little sissy boy's going to pay his way
his
out.
ex-girlfriend, Olia Sharipova, also accused him of the same thing, of being physical.
And you know what? These girls don't want a freaking dime. They're not hosting. They're not.
So
going
here's my. You know, it's hard to judge someone. They've asked many players. And here's what I think.
They don't want anything.
Here's my opinion on it.
That's the interesting part.
Here's my opinion on it. I think he probably did something like that.
Because the girls don't want any money.
But he's grown up, and I'm sure he realizes I fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And he made a mistake. People make mistakes.
Maybe he lost.
They make a mistake.
Maybe he lost the match
sure
because he would have given it to them in entirety. And
I think that what happened was Medvedev, he was used to getting things his way. If somebody fight him, he terrible thing he did. Yeah. He should not be the advisor. You know, they made him the advisor of the ATP. They should not have allowed that. But I feel like everybody deserves a second chance. You know.
Me too. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a second chance, but I'm also saying there's a different side of the story.
And maybe his karma is that he'll never win a Grand Slam.
Or like Tupac said, give him the finger, the middle. Anyway,
I don't know, but
look. Anyway, I'm not hating on him, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, for me personally, if you disrespect a woman,
well, look what happened to that player from Georgia. And remember your favorite player from Georgia?
What's his name?
You forgot him already.
No. I got it. Carla's mentioning a player that was Georgian that got in. I used to think it's coming back. I used to think he would be top 5 in the world. He might even become top 5 in the world. Georgian player, top 5 in the world. He remind me of Fabio Fognini, but better.
Mm-hmm. Starts with a B.
Okay, and why do I put him together with Borna Choric?
Correct, Jesus.
Oh, dang, Jesus got it. That's it, Jesus. There you go, bro. Bachelor's.
Remember what happened to him? His career?
What happened? I mean, I knew he got
accused by his wife that he choked her.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Bachelorsvili's wife didn't want any money either. She just wanted him to pay the price for what he put her through. And that's what Zverev's people calling him out don't want anything from him. They don't want him to support the child. They don't need it. What they're saying is what the girls are saying is we don't want anything from him.
But I thought he has seen his daughter, so
do your research. I don't know. Fake news, maybe. I don't know. But it's been going on for a couple of years, and it's never deviated from that story. No matter how many attorneys he puts in to hush him up. Anyway, it's very interesting to say the least. Mm-hmm. But I got my own 5 kids, so whatever. Figure that out. Anyway, that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
No, that's it for me. Well, on to the next slam.
French Open.
French Open
next.
All right.
Does Nadal win it? No.
Okay.
No.
That's his best chance. After that is retirement for him.
No chance. No. I hope. I mean, I don't want to say I hope so, but okay. If the French Open started tomorrow, who would you want to win it? Like who? And what would be your Cinderella story? What would be your narrative?
I would want Nadal to win it just so he's one behind.
So that would be like the Cinderella story.
So he can retire.
He would retire right
You know what? Every pro's dream is to win a slam and retire.
That's called a walk-off.
Just be able to retire the right way. Look at Sampras. Sampras won the U.S. Open, didn't play, retired. Peace out. He said, Steffi Graf, peace out. Won a slam, peace out.
Yeah.
She did it right. I mean, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I always hated that Jordan came back and tried to play with the Wizards, and it just didn't go so well. But either way, I'm his biggest fan with shoes, though.
Yeah.
All right. See you, French Open.
Adios.
Adios, muchachos. Or chachas.
Chachas.